Last September 2025, I decided to do my first spiritual fast to seek God, and this was my first time trying something like this. And what happened was not expected. So, in this video, I wanted to share with you my experience and really tell you the reason why I wanted to, in the first place, try this and how the journey went. So, there you go. The reason why I was guided to do a spiritual fast was from praying in the first place. I felt a little bit confused in my life. I just needed to feel close to God, and I just felt like I needed answer that maybe if I did a fast, then I would have more clarity maybe on some decision to take, and just in general, building a stronger connection with God. For the longest time, I had prayed, or I've always believed in like the Most High and God, but my prayer were always more like in a general form, in term of like I pray to the universe, like it was always about kind of like the universe and the source, which are and technically are the same thing, but this time around I really wanted to focus on like, I don't know how to explain it, maybe like I don't consider myself like a Christian at all, but I wanted to focus more on maybe on the religious aspect, even though I'm not religious. It's so weird. But I just wanted to like read the Bible and like really like pray to like not the whole universe, but like to God itself, and like focus my attention and like my energy to this one source of like power. This is what I did. I intended to do 40 days fast because I was like, Jesus did a 40-day fast, and it says in the good books to do this, and I've seen a lot of people online also doing the 40-day fast, so I was like, why not? For the first time also in my life, that's important to mention, I'm coming from a very natural health background. So for me, doing fast and cleanses is just part of who I am. I do fast and detox and cleanses literally every season for the past 14 years. So I've gone through so many of them, but really like doing it for other reason than just like physical cleansing and more onto a spirit level, I've had never done that before. So I'm gonna go a little bit back and forth between like the physical aspect of the fast and the spiritual aspect of the fast, because by default they both like happens at the same time when you do those type of fast. So then when I first started, I intended to just do juice for 40 days. I did a week on fruit juices and some vegetable juices, but honestly, like I got tired of like the more sugary aspect of the juice. I was doing a lot of like the melon juice and pineapple and oranges. I got to a point where I was like, oh, I'd rather just not drink at all than having a sweet drink. Then I started to introduce the veggie broth, and let me tell you, after like I think that was about like into a week and a half or 2 weeks of fruit juices, when I had the veggie broth for the first time, which I made myself, it was the best thing I've ever put in my mouth. It was so good. Like the first sip of that veggie broth in my calabash bowl, it was like literally an experience. It was so good. Now on the spiritual side, I think the first week was pretty smooth sailing. I prayed every day, multiple time a day. Going through my day, I was always communicating with God, always keeping God so close to my heart. And I just, yeah, in general, I just like, I had wrote down a specific prayer that was for this fast as well. And then I would just repeat this prayer like throughout the day, like all day long. And I was just being very conscious and mindful in every decision and every action that I take, that I was doing this for God at that moment. And even though I was very used to cleansing and stuff like this, I find that this fast was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life in term of like fasting and like not eating. I don't know why, but like I was always so hungry and everything around me always smelled so good. It was really a battle, and this is what I realized too within like 2 weeks of the fast, is that it was really about putting also the flesh desire aside and focus and growing your spirit and even being stronger mentally. And that really built a really strong foundation for me, that like after doing this, now I know if I did this I can do a lot of things, because that was really hard for me. I know a lot of people have experienced it and it's wasn't hard for them to do like just only liquid, but for me it was a very big challenge. Probably the environment has a big role to play in all that, because I was still working 40 hours a week at a gym on my feet at the busiest gym of the city. So I was not always like at rest and like just kind of like in a meditative state. I was very like go and active, and my energy was being spent a lot. So I think that if you're planning on to do this fast, make sure that you can take at least some time off from work, because I think work is so draining that like it doesn't matches what we're trying to do on a spiritual fast, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, some day were hard, some day were easy. It was like back and forth between battling the food and battling emotion as well. I feel like I had so many questions that came up during this fast in term of like, is God really listening to me right now? I had those questions and I almost felt guilty thinking about it, because I'm like, who am I to even think that God is not present right now? I had a lot of existential question that came up. Walking through the shadow of death, I think I had that moment at one point during my fast, probably by day 20 something. And then also a mini ego death, I would say. I had a mini ego death. I think once you remove all of the food and you focus on spirit, you become very, very sensitive to energy, and that's what happened to me as well. I became like a sponge to everything around me. Like I couldn't take so many people's like energy. If you were too like aggressive or too loud or even too like expressive, it would be a lot for me to take. Like I could only really just take like soft and like nurturing energy. That's really how I could explain it. Even in my music taste, I'm someone who loves to listen music, all type of music, hip hop, jazz, like reggae, and reggae being such a high vibe energy, I couldn't listen to anything except this one like Spanish guitar um type of music. I'll play a little clip right now for you. This was suiting me. This was helping me so much, this music. I don't know why. I've never heard it before, but it found me during a good time, and I'm grateful for that. Also, another thing is that during this fast, I got to read this book. This is in French. It's from Paulo Coelho, the same writer that wrote The Alchemist. And in French, the title is Le Don Suprême. I think that in English, I'll put the title here in English, but I'm pretty sure it's the Supreme Gift. Oh my gosh, this was such like a things happens a lot as well when you're seeking God. There's a lot of things that comes to your life that really answers what you were looking for. Every answers that I was looking for before I started my fast showed up in this book. Is crazy. Like really, to say like in general, this book talk about how love is the universal language, and like I can read some passage in French because it's in French. Hopefully some of you understand French. If not, then it will just just listen to a little bit of French. I underlined so many pages in here, but I'll just read you two little quick things. L'amour, donc, est le plein accomplissement de la loi. L'amour est la règle qui résume toutes les autres règles. L'amour est le commandement qui justifie tous les autres commandements. L'amour est le secret de la vie. And I have another little passage here. Si l'on veut être heureux, on doit prendre l'amour pour guide. Le reste n'a pas d'importance. This one says, if you want to be happy, you have to take love as a guide. The rest is not important. And I think that it's so beautiful, and it answered so many of my questions that I was seeking. And I'm so grateful that God answered through also a French book. It was really nice. I just like went to the bookstore and saw it, and I was like, oh, I think like I'm resonating with this book. I think I need to buy it. I got home, started to read it. It's a very fast read, but I finished it in like an hour and a half, the whole book, and I was like, okay. And then I read it another time through my fast, and I think I read it like 3 times. That was really a gift for me, this book. Now, on the physical side, by week 3, so maybe around day 20-ish, like that's when I really started to see the physical result, and a lot of like thing came out of my body that I was like, you what the heck, you know? Yeah, I didn't feel weak at all. Okay, that's one thing that's good. It's that as long as like I kept drinking my broth or my juice, like I was good, even though I was craving so much food. I was not like starving, and I was not weak, and my body felt really good and light and cleansing. So that was a plus for me for this fast. I'm just reading here because I wrote down some things. Oh, I just wanted to say also that I find it very impressive people who go on a 40-day water fast. That's crazy. Like, you're so strong. Honestly, you're so strong. I know someone personally who did it. His experience and his testimony with the whole like seeking God thing is so powerful and deep. You have to be very strong mentally to be able to do a 40-day fast, and you have to be in a very right environment. So anybody who are able to do this, I look up to you. Honestly, it's really good. As someone has coming again from a natural health background and has been cleansing for 14 years, I don't think I'm ready. I would be ready yet to do a 40-day water fast. So good job to you. Okay, now let's get into the juicy part of the fast. So like I've been mentioning, I've wanted to do it for 40 days, okay? And then by day 34, oh my god, I had an anxiety attack. I think it was a lot of like repressed emotion that came out of me, which is a good thing, but that needed to come out. But guys, I thought I was gonna die. Like, I was here, okay, on my bed, and like, I don't know if you guys ever had a really big panic attack, okay? This was my second one in my whole life. And it's like your heart started beating so fast, you can't control your heartbeat at all. And then it brings you into this like vortex loop of like that you're gonna die. And I really thought like I was gonna die, and I was having like a heart attack. And then my husband was gonna have to call the ambulance. And then I was crying, I couldn't breathe, my heart was beating so fast. Don't come tell me it's because like I didn't have enough food. Trust me, I was fine. It was a real panic attack. I've had panic attack before, and it was really similar to that. Like everything was kind of like spinning around me, and my husband had to go run me a bath because like I couldn't even go do this myself. Like that's how bad it was. And I was just on my bed while he was like running my bath, and I was just like praying, and I was like, God, I'm sorry if I doubted you through this cleanse, because like I said, like I had moments where I was like, is God even like there, blah blah blah. Like, even though I read this awesome book, obviously this was my answer too, but there's just like a lot of things. And I was just like, I'm so sorry that I asked for forgiveness for everything in that moment. Please, like, God, like, help me, blah blah blah. And I know it's gonna, I hope that you guys don't feel like I'm playing when I say this, guys, but I heard God. I heard it. Like, it was not a distinct voice of like a man talk to me or whatever. It was just like this phrase, and my mind just appeared. Okay, I was crying on the end of my bed there with my heart going 1,000 miles an hour, asking for forgiveness. Okay, and I heard something saying, I'm literally like feeling like crying right now because it's like, I'm reliving it right now. I heard this phrase, and it says, you don't have to go in the extreme to find me. And right there I was like, oh my God, like, it's crazy because, and it calmed me down. It literally calmed me down so much because like I wanted to be close and see God so much, and I did this whole fast to seek God when all along God was already with me. Yes, we can do fast maybe to like calm down the noise of the exterior environment and really focus on the spirit, but it's really not necessary to like feel connected to your creator. It's always within yourself. So I fasted to see God when God was already with me all along. I did not need the fast to get close to God. I needed the fast to realize that I was already close to God. We don't need to be doing extreme spiritual thing to be worthy of divine connection. This is what I wrote. And wow, honestly, like, I'm so grateful for this experience. Oh, I forgot to mention something too, actually. There was a crazy dream that happened on that last night, actually. That last night that everything happened, before my anxiety attack, actually. I mentioned, just joking, to my husband, I said, oh, I would love to have like a cat, a little kitty or whatever, and I really want like a black cat. I find they're so cute. They're so like, at their eyes and like their little nose, I just find them really pretty. And I was like, oh, I wish I had a cat. And that night, I had like I had a paralyzed dream. I don't know if you guys ever had one of those. After my whole anxiety attack, after my bat, after I finally calmed down, I had like so I went to bed, and I had one of those paralyzed dream where it's like you're kind of almost awake but not awake, and you can't move your body. So the door was like a little bit open, my bedroom door, and I saw these like tall three people coming in to my room, but I could feel their presence, but I couldn't really look at them because I was paralyzed. And I was trying to hit my husband who was beside me and asking, who's this like beside us? Because at one point I was like, is this family member right now? Like, who's coming in our bedroom right now, you know? So I was just like paralyzed like this, and there was three of them, and one of them was really, really tall. That's all I could remember. And they placed a little kitty in my neck. It was like this, and I felt it. It's so weird. Like, I felt this little soft ball of kitten in my neck. Like, I just felt it. Like, it was so weird. And then they left. They just left, and they left me with the kitty. And then after that they left, I woke. I kind of finally was able to like move. And then I looked at my husband, and then I was like, wait, was someone just here? And he's like, no. I was like, oh my gosh, I had just a really random, crazy dream. So yeah, that happened too. But this, I think, sums up the fast. It was a beautiful experience. I did not do it 40 days, actually. I did, so the day after I had my anxiety attack, I cut it there, and it was 35 days. And you know what I cut it with? Well, first of all, I had fruit. I had like, I think, nectarine and dates. But then I got myself some chana masala, and it was so good. And then it became my comfort meal for like 2 months after that. I always needed a bowl of chana masala. So yeah, anyway, this was my experience with spiritual fasting to seek God. Just a little reminder that the Most High God, the universe, the source, whoever it is for you, it is always within yourself, and you have access to it at any time, and it only has love, and you are a being of love. So this is what I came out of the fast with. Thank you for sitting with me and listening to this story. May you find love within yourself, and take care. Bye bye.